to the senior panel. We've been doing this now, I think, 4 years. I think we're about year 4. This is one of my favorite events because you get to hear what they've done in their lives for the last 4 years to show you how much of an opportunity you have over the next 4 years. It's a scary thought as you enter as a freshman on what can you do, the possibilities that you have. You don't have to solve the world in 1 year. As you'll see, they've all taken a different path, every one of them. Every one of them have done different things over their 4 years here at Timberlake. And that's important because of what's the number here? I forget.
271.
271 of you, there's going to be 271 different paths. There's not going to be a single one of you that follow the same path over the next 4 years here at Timberlake. And that's important because you all have different abilities, you all have different interests, you all want to be different things, and that's totally fine. And you'll see what they've been able to do. Next slide. Thanks. So, if you were looking up here at the big board, you'll notice that you have essentially already been assigned to a counselor next year. So you'll be losing Mr. Champion and you'll be gaining a new counselor. These people are going to help you over the next 4 years with your decision making, what classes to sign up for, what clubs you may be entering, any issues you may be having during the school day, that type of stuff. Nothing of that will change. It's important to know that they're going to do a lot with you more than Mr. Champion, and that's not against Mr. Champion. It's just we're talking about college, we're talking about career, we're talking about maybe CTE if you're going to Pinkerton or Salem. All those different choices that these individuals are going to help you with. They are going to be important people in your lives for the next 4 years. So you are to use them as resources and as a person that can help you make those decisions. Things that you might not want to talk about at home, you can talk about here. Same thing. Circle of trust here with those individuals. And they'll speak to how important they were in their lives, applying for colleges, writing essays, having a difficult time with the teacher, anything like that. Those are going to be your people over the next 4 years. All right. So before we get to Al here, a couple things. Phones away. If I see a phone, it's going to become mine. Give them your attention. They're here as a favor, all right? They want to be able to share what they've done. We've got some pretty important people up here right now. They're going to share their experiences. We'll allow opportunity to ask questions at the end. You ready to lead off?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And as we move forward, we can ask some questions. But give them your attention, and then we'll move on.
All right. So my name's Al. I'm going to go to Boston College next year to major in biology. Over my 4 years, I played basketball, soccer, and volleyball. Not in that order. Soccer's first. But let's just go through the list. My musical involvement in theater, I didn't really have any. Not very talented for music. I played the ukulele though. So I was involved in a lot of clubs. I'm the president of Best Buddies. I'm in student council. I did Project Hope a couple of days ago. Tomorrow I'm going to be participating in the Senior Citizens Prom. So I basically took every opportunity I could to get involved in anything I could find pretty much. Kept myself pretty busy. And usually I found myself maybe even overextending myself. But I think overall that was a good thing to do for me, to keep myself moving, keep myself involved. In terms of the college process, I struck out a lot. Most of my schools got denied from. So a lot of people were having trouble, like, ooh, do I go to this school, do I go to this school? I didn't have too many options. Basically, BC was my best one, so the decision was pretty easy for me. My favorite moment, I'll talk about Best Buddies for a little bit. So this year, our Best Buddies chapter got the opportunity to perform our flag routine at the pep rally. The pep rally is actually, is it our last day? Well, the pep rally is during Spirit Week, and the entire school goes down to the gym, and we do a ton of different things. I'm going to explain what Best Buddies is. So, Best Buddies is when a student with intellectual disabilities gets paired with someone who does not, to kind of form a one-on-one friendship. I've been involved in that since midway through my freshman year. I became president junior year, and I've been doing a lot of things with the state. I'm going to be a student ambassador, so I'm going to go around and kind of speak about my experience with Best Buddies. And there's a ton of different ways to get involved in terms of just Best Buddies. I mean, you can be either a one-on-one buddy or you can just help out in events. So I'm a little biased, but I'd say that's the best one to get involved in. I already told you I'm on this one. You're not helping. A reason why I love Timberlane. I kind of touched on this earlier, where Timberlane offers you every opportunity you can think of. It's a matter of you going out and finding them versus you waiting for them to come to you. I mean, anything you want to do music, you want to do sports, or you just kind of want to be a part of the community in any way you can think of, you'll have that opportunity at Timberlane, and it's just a matter of applying yourself. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Meg Oliver. I've been playing soccer all 4 years. I did ski team all 4 years, and I did track my freshman year, and then I picked up lacrosse sophomore through this year. For theater, I have no musical ability whatsoever, so I only took an improv class. My class is president for 2 years, and I've been part of exec for all 4. I'm in a couple honor societies. I'm in National Honor Society. I'm part of Peer Outreach, Best Buddies with Al, Life of an Owl, and I'm also part of Project Hope and the Senior Citizen Prom, like Al said. And I'm going to New England College next year for psychology and kinesiology. You're gonna love Miss LaFave. She's really nice. Everyone should join exec because it's fun, and there's a couple other kids on exec here. Yeah, that's about it.
So just as you saw the first 2 students come up here, holy cow, I think they've done everything, but not really at all because of how much more you're going to hear. But I think it's a key thing that Al said here is, not sitting back and waiting for the moment, but kind of taking it, seizing it, and getting involved. You can be as involved as you want, and you can be not involved as you want. And I know that sounds silly, but I think the more you participate in what's out there over the next 4 years, the more relationships you'll build. I'm sure you two that went first. They have friends in different pockets, right? You have Best Buddies, you have soccer, you have all those different pockets. Rather than just sitting back and waiting for things to come to you, you have to take that opportunity and move forward. It's not all athletics, and as we go down the line, you'll see, and it's not all music, and there's something for everybody, literally. And I'm sure there's someone here that started a club. That's another thing that Timberlane does. If there's something new that you want to do, we'll get down there. So don't sit back and wait for things. You have to be able to go after them. And even if you try it out for 2 months and you hate it, and then you move on, at least you can say to yourself, you know what, I tried it, I didn't like it, and I'm going to do something else. It's very important. Sitting back and waiting, you're going to be waiting for a long time, a really long time. All right? Sorry, that was me.
Hey guys, I'm Connor Schott. My experience at Timberlane the past 4 years has been amazing. I've done so many things, gotten involved in so many things. I've met so many new people, and I've been involved a lot. I've been in a ton of clubs and honor societies, and a big part of my high school career has been athletics, and I'm a 3-sport varsity captain. I started for 3 years for each of those. So sports has been a huge part of my high school career. It's created so many opportunities, helped me meet so many new people. And yeah, sports has just been a huge part of my high school career. And I don't know where I'm gonna go to college yet, and that's okay for right now. But I know I want to study either architecture or engineering or both. And the classes here at Timberlane have helped me realize that I want to do engineering in college, and those opportunities have been really great for me. And there's just tons of opportunities here. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Olivia. I was in cross country for all 4 years. I didn't really involve myself too much in theater and music other than doing the play my sophomore year, which was The Sound of Music. Although it wasn't for me, it was really fun. The main thing I'm going to talk about is CTE, which is the Career and Technical Education program that Timberlane allows you guys to do your junior and senior year. I'm in the Pinkerton CTE program, and I do environmental studies and forestry. And for me, that's the best part of my entire high school career because I've made so many friends, and it's allowed me to involve myself in something that I want a future career in. I'll be attending St. Joseph's College of Maine next year for a major in environmental studies and a minor in business. CTE, like I said, Career and Technical Education program, it really allows you to open up your education to something that you're interested in. You can go to Salem High School or Pinkerton. Salem, they give you transportation. For Pinkerton, you drive yourself, which is pretty awesome. That was kind of a big seller for me, not gonna lie. I was involved in the National Technical Honor Society, which they don't offer here at Timberlane, but they do at Pinkerton. So that's awesome. And one issue that I came in contact with when I wanted to sign up for my CTE course is that they only allow you to graduate with a technical diploma, but I wanted the highest, which is the Scholastic. So I worked with Miss Mayer, who helped me a lot throughout all 4 of my years, and now I'm graduating with 2 diplomas, so that's pretty awesome, and that's about all I have to say.
Hi, I'm Michael, and in the fall I'm going to Northeastern University and majoring in biology. And so at Timberlane, there's so many ways you can get involved. If you want to get involved in any subject, you really can. And so if you want to get involved in athletics, you can join basically any sport that's offered at Timberlane, which is most sports. And so I used to play baseball, and I tried golf, and now this year, and for the last couple of years, I've been playing volleyball, which is really fun. And if you want to get involved with volunteering, there's so many different ways to volunteer. You can join Project Hope, or you can join different organizations. You can form your own organization, or if you want to get involved academically, you can join honor societies, which are a really good way to learn more about like a subject that you really like. And so I'm in National Honor Society, Math, Science, Spanish, and History. And so I'm the president of Math Honor Society. And in honor societies, you basically just do volunteering for that subject, and you try to get that subject more involved in the community. So for history, we do like historical organizations, and for math, we do tutoring. And so they're basically just a great way to get involved. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, so as you've seen here, 5. The first 5, and you notice the most influential people they have, not a single one of them have listed the same person yet. And I think that's pretty telling, because we've said throughout the year and throughout your time at the middle school that you're not going to like every teacher you have, right? You're going to have to work with them. But then you're going to come across people that you really connect with. And then those people, not just your guidance counselors at Timberlane, but those teachers, they're going to have an influence on you, and you're going to connect with them, and that's their job. And they're going to help you make some other decisions that you may or may not know about. I think it's so impressive that the amount of honor societies or clubs or CTE we've only gone through 5 students. I think another interesting point, not to pick on Al here, but when he said I struck out a lot, and I think that's okay. You have to be able to swing at something in order to strike out. And maybe he took a risk and applied to some schools that may have been a reach, but he got somewhere, right? I only got into 2 of my 5 that I applied. We're all in that boat. You're not going to be perfect throughout your time, but you got to try things, and I'm going to keep saying that throughout this morning, because if you don't try, you don't know. And if you don't know, then you can't ever reflect and say I may or may not have been good at something. So it's important to keep hitting that point home. The other one is, you're going to see the trend here is, it's okay not to know what you're going to do in life yet either. Some of them have already set their goal of what they're going to study in college, and some of them might not. I changed my path 3 times when I was in school. My parents hated me, but you figure it out. You start to find things that you love and you go after. So we're gonna keep going. Thanks.
I can attest to what he just said. I think I've changed my mind on what I want to do with my life 10 times in the last 2 weeks. But I'm Robbie Horgan. I play 3 sports here. I play football, basketball, and baseball. I'm a 3-sport captain. A couple of things I'm involved in. I'm the president of the Business Honor Society, which I'll be honest, we don't really do much, but it's kind of cool to be in. I'm I'm in the Math Honor Society, National Honor Society. I'm part of the Project Hope, and another thing, in the Big Buddy, Little Buddy program, which is a program that some of you were probably in when you were in 3rd grade. Just like a senior, junior gets paired up with 3rd grade and you write letters. But what I was told to talk about was athletics and the Life of an Owl program. With athletics, it's the same thing. I think, like Mike said, he's played golf and boys volleyball, which I don't believe are offered at the middle school. So those are a couple new sports. And though I like to hate on them, I think that boys volleyball is something that if you don't like baseball or lacrosse or whatever you play, you don't play anything, go out and play volleyball. They're good. You'll get good, and it seems pretty fun from what they all said. So with athletics, it's kind of the same thing as middle school. It's the same. You get practice every day. The one big difference is you'll have to give up your vacation time. You'll have to give up your summers. There's a lot of summer stuff. But if you commit yourself, you'll have a great time. And then the Life of an Owl program, I'll touch on that because I've been part of it for a while. Basically, it's a program that it's athletes, but it's also, other kids in the school. I think, is anyone else in here that's not like an athlete? Like, I know there are some athletes that aren't, that kids that aren't athletes that are in it, that you're like, why are they in the Life of an Owl program? It's supposed to be an athlete program, but it's really not. It's for the whole school. And that touches on, like, substance abuse, basically just keeping our athletes as healthy as possible, not doing drugs, how, like, things can affect your performance on the field and off the field, how you can become a better leader with your team, stuff like that. And it's a program that you should definitely get involved with. It's, you gotta go on, if you're lucky enough, there's a trip kind of they go on. It's like a 3-day program that you go on, you get to stay in a hotel. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that's basically it.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm going to Endicott College next year where I'll be studying graphic design with a minor in event management. I was asked to talk to you about 3 different things. I'm an artist, so any of you who are artists, don't let anybody tell you that it's not something you should do, it's not important. I've been told many times that you can't make a career out of it. It's nothing, you should be doing math or science. I do math and science. I'm an AP Chem, I'm in an accelerated pre-cal class, and I still take art awards and best in shows. And it's important if you're an artist to pursue that and take advantage of the supplies they give you and the classes they give you. I'm president of National Art Honor Society. I'm secretary of my class with Meg, who's president, and Drew, who's vice president. I'm also going to talk to you about Hawaii. And a week from now, I'll be on a plane to Hawaii with 14 other people. We're going to go for a week. We'll be staying in dorms at a high school in Hawaii. And it's really important to find every opportunity you can. One of the most influential people I've met is Mr. Strange. He's an administrator. Your administrators are not your enemies. They are your friends. They're going to give you the opportunities you need to.
Can you say that again?
Administrators are your friend. Don't make them your enemies. I also am going to talk to you about swim team. Coming into high school, I had no experience whatsoever with swim. I joined my freshman year scared. You have to drive the Cedardale every day. I was stuck in a car with 3 juniors and 1 senior. I was this little freshman who had no idea what was going to happen. They're like, hey, jump in the pool, let's get going. I'm on swim team with Brianna, and they are my family. It has been a group that has changed my life. If you have no experience with athletics, but you want to get involved, get involved. They are important. It will open you up to a whole new friend group. I remember sitting exactly where you are today. Our class was the first class to experience the senior panel, and someone said, it goes by fast. And 4 years does not seem like it goes by fast, but it does. I'm sitting up here today with some of my best friends, and we graduate in less than 2 months, and it's scary. So when you go to high school, cherish every moment. Go hang out with your friends, do your homework, but experience everything you possibly can. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Cam Magner, and before I start my presentation, I just want to sort of preface it by giving you guys a piece of advice, which is to discover what you're passionate about, discover what your likes and interests are, and figure out you don't have to figure out what you want to do with your life, but at least figure out what you want, what interests you, whether it's sports, whether it's theater, whether it's academics. I think it's really important that you figure out what you want to do. In that sense, so that you can start high school off right. Because I was lucky enough for freshman year to get involved in a lot of different clubs and activities. So I guess I'll start off by saying, so I'm in Model UN. I'm in Government Club. I'm the president of Government Club. I was the vice president of Model UN, and I'm the delegate director this year. I'm in Math Honor Society, National Honor Society, Rho Kappa, Spanish Honor Society, Environmental Club, Students of Service, Timberlake Community Outreach, and I'm the president of Student Council, and then there's a couple more in there. But so I guess what really important things that I want to talk to you about is that high school is not just what happens in the building up there. It's a lot more than that. I was lucky enough to form a lot of really close relationships with a lot of my faculty, especially my guidance counselor, Mrs. Petrie, that I was able to get involved with stuff outside of the high school. So one of the things that, a couple of things that I absolutely loved during high school was that I was able to get involved because of one of my teachers, my government economics teacher. Freshman year, I was able to get involved in the Legislative Youth Advisory Council, which is up at the State House. You work on legislation involved with helping the state that the youth in New Hampshire are, they feel that is important and should be talked about in the State House. And so that was one of the things that I had gotten involved in. Another thing is that I'm the vice president of the New Hampshire Association of Student Councils, which is the statewide student council. All of the student councils come together and we talk about issues that we're involved with up at the at the state level. We work through conferences and leadership conferences for the members of student council throughout the state. And then two of the big things that really, I guess, sort of changed my life was that because of actually help with the high school, I was able to attend the United States Senate Page program my junior year, where I went and lived in Washington for 5 months, and I worked on the Senate floor because I was appointed by a United States Senator to work and go to school there and do I did my academics there, but then I also got to meet and work with a lot of really, really cool kids who are also in the program. There's 30 kids throughout the nation that are chosen for the program, and we worked on sort of busy work, I guess. We helped the proceedings of the Senate. We helped sort of deliver legislation to and from Senate office buildings. So that was really cool. And then most recently, actually because of my guidance counselor, Mrs. Petrie, she had nominated me for a scholarship, it's a $10,000 scholarship, where you get to go, where if you win the scholarship, there are two delegates chosen from every state, and if you win, you get to go to Washington again for another week, and you get to, it's called the United States Senate Youth Program, where you get to go to the Senate again, for me again, go to the Capitol, and you get to meet with a lot of really cool people. We met with the president, we met with the vice president, we met with congressional leaders. So that was really cool that I got to do that. But the reason I bring all this up is not to brag. Sorry if it came across that way. But my point in doing that was to tell you that if you form close relationships with your teachers, the faculty at the school, you can transcend what happens just up in the high school. I got involved in these activities because I was passionate about government, which I'm sure a lot of you are like, what the heck, that's so weird. But for me, it was, I really loved it. It was something that I was really passionate about, and so I was able to, like I said, make these close relationships with my teachers who had connections outside of the high school, and then I was able to go and get involved in these programs, clubs, and activities, which it really was an amazing experience for me. So I come back to the advice that I started with, which is to find what you're passionate about, because you'll have opportunities like I did, but in just different, as Mr. Flynn said, in different ways. There's different paths that you can take. So if you're really passionate about math, I don't know why, but if you are, you find, join math club, join Math Honor Society, find activities in the school and outside of the school that can help further your passion for math, because it's high school is what you make of it, and I'm sure a lot of people told you that. I know that's what people are telling me for college, but find what you're passionate about, because it really makes it a lot better. You're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be, at times it's gonna be really difficult, but for me it's particularly difficult going to college because I applied to 10 schools. I only got into 3 of them. And that was really, really hard for me. But I'm going to make the most of it, just like I did here at high school. I was able to find all of these activities, all of these clubs, whatever it may be. And I had a lot of fun, and I think I did a lot of great work here at the high school. But now I'm going to go do it again at college, and I'm hoping to major in do a double major with international relations and public policy. And then I think I'm going to minor in Arabic studies because I want to have a concentration in the Middle East with international relations. So I think is that it? And then I'm deciding between American University and UNH. So I don't know which one I have yet. But so yeah, I guess in closing, I just want to say once again, find what you're passionate about, discover what you like, what your interests are, and then I hope that you guys have a great time and that you pursue whatever you're interested in. So yeah, thanks.
Hello, thank you. A couple things. One, administrators are your friends, not your enemies. I want to point that out. But going back to each one of them, the Life of the Owl program that we have at Timberlane, we're setting some pretty big standards throughout the state in what we're doing with our students. And he mentioned that you don't have to be an athlete to be a part of it. And I think that's a big misconception, that you have to be an athlete, and that's not true. And it's something that's for the greater good, but not just for yourself, but for the community and everything that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, especially as young teens, young Americans, what's going on. The Life of a Now program puts a lot of things in place for you to live a better life and to make good decisions and do the right thing. And to speak to the art stuff, I think that's important, what she mentioned as well. Okay, Olivia. A lot of you are going to school for jobs that don't exist now in the world, and that's a true statement. Unless you choose the traditional path of education or something along those lines. The jobs that you're going to be doing in your life in 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, they actually don't even exist, if you can imagine that. So it's honing in on everything that they're doing, honing in on what they're good at, what they're passionate about, and really chasing that down. And Cam, the political stuff, I mean, that's something that probably hasn't really crossed a lot of middle school brains, but it's becoming bigger and bigger. And I'm sure you're well aware of what goes on a daily basis. Just turn on the 5 o'clock news. But that's pretty impactful. Those things that are going to be going on in 10 years, it's only going to become bigger and bigger. So the other part I think Cam mentioned was, I know it's hard for you now at your age, and I get it, but believe it or not, all of the teachers, whether you like them or not, we signed up for this profession, okay? We said to ourselves, we want to work with students. Now, I know that doesn't feel right sometimes because you may really hate someone. People have hated me over the last 4 years here. That's okay. You're not going to connect with everyone. But there is somebody for everyone. And we're all in it, all of your adults, Mr. Mensis, Mr. Henderson, I'm looking around, I know some people, Ms. Hogan, Ms. Nzinga, Dr. Dodge, we all signed up for this. And when you get to high school, all those teachers signed up for it. So make sure you find that connection and find that person, because it's important so that you can bounce those things off. You're going to Hawaii, and I wish I was going to Hawaii. But that's an exchange program. That's something that Mr. Strange has worked on for 10 years that he's been here. What's the other one? Galapagos? Yeah, that's new. Yeah, so there's another one. They're going to Galapagos. Say that word for me. Galapagos. Thank you. Galapagos Islands. There's a trip there. We used to do German exchange. So there's a lot of stuff out there. So don't fall asleep in high school. Start seeing things. All right, ready? You're up. Good luck.
Hi guys, I'm Blake Watkins. During my 4 years at Timberlane, I've been involved in soccer for 4 years, track for 1 year, lacrosse for 2 years, tennis for 1 year, and ski team for 3 years. I really suggest everyone find their passion, like Cam said. Like, for sports, I really like athletics. Like, sports has been a huge part of my life. Sometimes I'm not good at them, but I've made a lot of friends with younger classmen, and I know people are like afraid to like be friends with upperclassmen or underclassmen, and you have to like stay with your grade and everything, but a lot of my close friends are the underclassmen. Don't be afraid to like make friends with other people. I'm also involved in student council for 4 years, and student council is kind of like giving back to like our school and like community. So we work a lot with younger kids, and like we do kids night out and like fun festival for little kids, and it's a lot of fun. We also put on Spirit Week, so we organize like different days and like all the fun activities during Spirit Week. I'm also in a class called Exploring and Practicing Teaching. So what they do is I want to go to school for possibly teaching. I'm still figuring it out. But the class really geared toward to like teaching and like what teachers do. And so right now I'm in a classroom every other day, in like an actual classroom for elementary. And it's a really good experience because it helps me figure out if I want to be a teacher or not. That's really it.
I'm Connor Ross. So the past 4 years I've been involved with soccer, track, and volleyball. And I also, my junior and senior year, I kicked for the football team as well. Soccer and football were in the same season, but I was able to do it because I practiced football once a week and then soccer for the rest. I haven't been involved with theater and music, but I do know that our music program in the high school is very well organized and established. Yes, that was a good word. So like everybody else, I'm involved with some honor societies, student council. Freshman year, I was the vice president, and then I switched over to student council because it was more what I wanted to do, help kids and stuff. And a major part of my high school career was Project Hope. This year, I was a leader along with Connor over there. And Project Hope is a breast cancer organization that we raise money for breast cancer all year. Most of these kids are involved in Project Hope. I mentioned Connor because he's also a leader. Alright, so it's an organization that we raise money all year to donate to a breast cancer fundraiser at the end of the year. And we also work towards a fashion show to the end of the year, and that just happened this past Saturday, which was a success. And we raised over $12,000 that we donated. In my opinion, it is one of the most rewarding clubs to be a part of in high school, probably along with Best Buddies, because in Best Buddies you get to make your buddy happy every day, and Project Hope you get to raise money that goes towards one of the best causes out there. So along with what Cam said, I don't know why I called you Cameron. You definitely need to find what you're passionate about. So what I'm passionate about is physics, I guess you could put it that way. But I remember being in physics class last year, and I watched a video that our teacher put out there, and it was about prosthetics and how they've developed, and that really impacted me, and that is what brought me to what I want to do. So I'm going to Clark University next year to study biophysics, and because I want to design prosthetics for people that I can help when I'm older. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Drew Bailing. I'm going to be attending High Point University, and I'm going to be majoring in either business, English, or both. And so going into high school, I was not good at sports. And in fact, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one up here who's not good at sports. So I was really scared going in because I thought basically that was the only thing you could do. I was thinking I'm not going to get into college, I'm not going to be able to get any money from there because I'm not going to be able to get involved in anything. And I proved myself totally wrong. Walking in, I was able to find the things that I'm passionate about, which is leadership and volunteering in my community. And I've been able to get involved so much both here at the school and outside of it. And that's one of the reasons that I'm so thankful for Timberlane, is because I've been able to find what it is that I am passionate about. And I've gotten involved in a bunch of things, such as I'm vice president of my class, I'm in Science Honor Society, Project Hope, National Honor Society, and I'm vice president of the English Honor Society as well, with one of my most influential people who I met here, which was Miss Dearmond. And if you ever have the option, take a class with Miss Dearmond, she's great. But anyways, doing all this has really helped me realize what I want to do with my life. And that's why I'm going to be continuing with my leadership roles in college and actually minoring it, because that's something they offer there. And outside of the school, I'm also a volunteer at a local soup kitchen on every Monday, and that's been a really rewarding experience because I've been able to help the less fortunate. And I think that's something that I really want to continue with in college. I plan on going on a bunch of service and community service trips to foreign countries, and that's something that I've started out here at Timberlane. I went to Spain my sophomore year with the high school Spain trip, and my favorite experience from here probably was my sophomore year Spirit Week, because that was the first year that I was vice president of my class, and I had the opportunity to help organize it. And that's one of the big things that exec does, is organize big events for the school like that, like Spirit Week, like prom, like senior cruise, all that kind of stuff. And during that, I was able to win Spirit Week award. So yeah, and and yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Brianna. I'm going to be attending UMass Boston for nursing. And like Cam said, I mean, you strike out a lot with college. I applied to 5 different schools, but because my major is so competitive, I got into 2 nursing programs and 1 other college that I applied to. So I was in a lot of programs here at school. I was part of 4 different honor societies, 2 different clubs. I started my own organization called Project 211, which was a substance abuse and drug prevention awareness night. If any of you guys are really passionate about it, I actually need people to run it from now on. So, yeah. Like we've talked about getting involved with your teachers. If you have something that you are passionate about and you want to do, find teachers. Start talking to teachers. There's always someone that is willing to help you. I don't know what else. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys. Outstanding job, right? Give one more round of applause. We'll do a couple of things. There's a slide to come up about advice. They're all going to give you advice. We'll also do questions because that's important as well. But as I said, 30 minutes ago, that they're all going to be different paths. There's no one here doing the same, intending on doing the same thing, if you noticed. So it's killing the Smalls. Killing me. But you can say to yourself, you did like 15 sports, is that right? About 15? I don't know how that's possible, but it's also an example of what you can do. And then you played 2 sports in the same season. One thing that Timberlane provides or does for their students is they really never say no. And I mean that. And it sounds cheesy, but if you want to do it, we're going to support you in everything that you want to do. Our guidance counselors will fight for you to do a program that might not exist, or start a club that might not happen, or take a class that might do independent studies, things of that nature. But there is literally, has anyone ever been told no up here in something that, well, school appropriate, please, thanks. But we do everything for our students. We stand behind them in any path that they want to do or how they're going to go about it. It's very important for you to know that, because we don't want students not to achieve something that they want to do. It's so important. Any questions? Anybody? I know there's questions, there always is. Be the first one. Right, yeah. Ms. Hogan, you don't count, but go ahead.
I just want to know, when you were in middle school heading up to high school, was there anything that you could have done to prepare better for high school?
Yeah. So in middle school, I was involved in literally nothing, like as in nothing. So like my freshman year, I didn't even know exec was a thing, so I didn't even run against Connor, so that was great. But so I would have definitely wanted to get involved in more because that's something that I'm really passionate about now is all my clubs and activities, and I really don't think I'd be the same person that I am today without them. I think it's really shaped me into who I am today, doing all my community service projects and all my leadership roles and all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna pass it off to Brianna.
So I think learning about the different honor societies that we have at the school would kind of help if I had done that in 8th grade, because there's so many. I mean, I still don't even know how many we have. And I think that if you start thinking about what you want to go into and also volunteering, because you can find out what you're passionate about through all the volunteer opportunities that you can go into even now.
You're probably all wondering why we're talking about honor societies and all these things that you can't do until you're a junior or a senior. Coming in as a freshman, my biggest advice is just keep an open mind. Coming into high school, I had like a friend group, but we weren't close, and I was like, am I ever gonna have that friend group? I sit up here today with some of my best friends. I can't even explain to you how many different people you would meet. Coming freshman year, I'd walk through the hallways and not talk to anybody and look at kids like us now, the seniors looming over us and like screaming across the hallway and saying, hey, I talk. When I walk down the hallway now, I talk to like 30 different people. I say hi to Brianna, I say hi to Cam, I say hi to Michael, I say hi to Blake, I say hi to Drew. Just keep an open mind and make friends with whoever you can. It will help you in the long run. Know everybody.
Okay, so I know this is going to sound really weird, but as soon as you start high school, record every single type of volunteering you do whatsoever, because there's so many different honor societies and different things that you do that requires you to do community service. So as much volunteering as you do, record every single bit because it'll help so much.
But also, like, don't let, like, I know in middle school you might not have been able to get involved in some things, or maybe you tried and it just didn't work out. Don't let that stop you from doing it again in high school. Because, like, I tried all 3 years of middle school to get on student council, didn't get on it once. And now I'm the president of student council at the high school. So, I mean, you just don't let things at the middle school stop you from trying them at the high school, because I guess it's a lot easier to get it done, to do it at the high school, just because it's usually a lot bigger, so.
Something that I really wish I knew, well not knew, well I did know it, but I ignored it. Do not slack off. It'll come and bite you in the butt when you're trying to apply to colleges. Although I did get into all 6 of the ones that I applied to, I didn't get as much money as I could have, and it really does bite you in the butt, so don't slack off, don't do what I did. Yeah.
And Brianna, I just wanted to add on to what Olivia said earlier, and that's that you make so many friends. Like, coming into middle school, I did not have many. I'm the first to admit that. And I've made so many of my best friends throughout these 4 years, and I'm so thankful for all the ways that I've been able to meet them, and a bunch of that was through getting as well, so I definitely recommend that.
And I know you guys all have your specific groups that you kind of click with, but once you start joining sports and honor societies and all that stuff, you start talking to all different cliques of people, and it's kind of awesome, because I walk through the hallway and I say hi to almost everyone here every morning.
You got something? No, man, go ahead.
All right. Don't be afraid to stick out. I might stick out a little too much sometimes, but trying to hide yourself and fit in isn't really ever really the best option. It might be the easiest, might be the safest, but put yourself out there. If you're on the stage talking to 8th graders, go for it. It's fine. It's actually a lot of fun. So being the center of attention or being someone seeing you and you sticking out a little is not always a bad thing.
All right. So a couple of things. No slacking. I think that was one of the things. And I know you guys get mad at us when we harass you about doing better or doing more or whatever. But as you take this step into high school now, you're stepping into credit-bearing classes. All right. If you fail a class in high school, what do you have to do again? You get to retake it. Who likes to take classes twice? Raise your hand. Anybody? One? That's great. So it's not the right thing to do. So your study habits are important immediately when you get into high school, or else you're going to be, when people are going to the sophomore dance, you're going to be a freshman again, or that type of stuff starts to pile up. So it's important to maintain your academics. And maybe not being the center of attention is always great, but being yourself is so important. And they all said it. You're gonna find cliques, you're gonna find people. High school is just a different animal. You're dealing with different groups, people, there's 50 things going on every Friday and everyone's a part of something. So be yourself, don't ever try and be someone other than who you are or who you wanna be. Go ahead, Waylon, your hands been up for like an hour.
Yeah. Okay, so, like, this might be a dumb question to ask, but like, how much do you do as like a class president or like a class vice president? Like,
Yeah, this, for the record, this class, Miss Libby came down last week to talk about running and all that stuff. The most signups we've ever had for that, so that's an important question. So if anyone wants to help out.
Well, that'll be Megan, Cam, and I, so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who wants to start? All right, I'll start.
The question was, what do you actually do in student council or exec? We've had over, Mr. Menzies, how many? Over 50 applications, which is huge, so, yeah.
That's a lot. I've run unopposed for the past 2 years. Anyways, so it's a big responsibility, but it's definitely one of the most rewarding ones. Like I said earlier, you're in charge for planning most of the events for the school, like Spirit Week, like prom, like senior cruise. But a lot of it, at least with exec, I don't know about student council, but a lot of it is cumulative. A lot of our biggest projects are for senior year, and a lot of it is fundraising for those two main events at the end of the year, which is senior prom and senior cruise. And that's basically been our goal throughout the entire year, or throughout all 4 years, is to fundraise, 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 and that's the biggest part that we've done, and yeah.
So then I'm just going to talk about a little bit about student council. So for student council is different than exec in the sense that we do the whole school. Student council is for the whole school. Exec is like each exec class is just for your graduating class. But like student council, I have members on it from obviously from freshmen and then all the way up to seniors. So we all work together as one body, as one like governing body. So being an officer is different than being a member. For a member, you're on a committee and you switch twice throughout the year, and then you just do whatever the committee like needs you to do. So you participate in, like I know Blake, she's the treasurer for student council, and her committee, if you're on her committee, then you have to do a lot of fundraising stuff to get money. So like we do coffee and donut fundraisers during midterms. So when you come up and next year you'll have to get used to that, you'll have to take midterms, and then like when we have half days, whatever, we have coffee and donuts available for you guys to be able to buy. So like that would be kind of something if you're on Blake's committee that you would have to be involved with. But as like an officer, you then get to make decisions about what you want to actually do. So we work really closely with Ms. Libby, who's the advisor of student council, to be able to come up and sort of formulate a plan to be able to sort of figure out how we want to give back to the school, what sort of service projects we want to do, because our main goal isn't just to fundraise, it's also to do give back to the school. So we help by doing teacher appreciation, breakfast, lunch, and dinners. We do different activities that we provide to the school. Actually, a couple weeks ago, Blake brought in a hypnotist for us, so we raise money for that sort of thing. So I mean that's the really thing. But I'm really glad that there's a lot of you who want to get involved with it. It's really a really good time. But also, if you don't get on freshman year, that shouldn't stop you from then trying again sophomore year. And then keep going until because it's important. You make a difference, even if you don't think that it's you can't see the tangible effects of it. You make a really big difference. So please, keep going. I'm really happy that you guys are all getting involved. I think that's it.
I'll let Meg talk in 1 second, but just a quick, everybody just talked about it's a huge responsibility, and it is. You are the center of your class, the center of your school. You are the leaders. You're the people come to you for answers. They want to know when prom is, when we buy our ticket, Spirit Week days, what are the themes, but it is a ton of fun. I'm a secretary of my class. There's 12 members, and then there's 4 officers for exec. We have so much fun. For Spirit Week, we spent hours trying to build a trebuchet because Cam decided we were gonna sling bags of flour across the football field. And it's a lot of fun. Right now, the struggle is trying to get labels off wine bottles so we can spray paint them for our centerpieces at prom. It's a lot of fun. You meet people, and it's awesome that you guys want to get involved with it.
Okay, so for class president, it is a big responsibility. I mean, yes, you are supposed to know everything, but at the same time you have 11 other kids helping you. like Liv said, I mean, she's our secretary, so she takes insane amount of notes, and you could ask her anything and she would know it before even looking it up. Drew is a great vice president, so I mean, the two of us together, we've been together doing this for the past 2 years, us being together for it, and I mean, as long as you have a good exec, you guys are gonna do really well. So, I mean, it's not something to take lightly. Like, don't just run for a joke, because prom costs $38,000 and cruise costs $42,000. So if you have somebody that's not really gonna put in the effort and do all of the hard work that it takes, like all 12 of us have done, it's gonna be very, very expensive for your senior year, and you're probably not gonna be able to do like a ton of fun things, because we've raised so much money. We've done every little fundraiser possible. We sold little bracelets. We've had bake sales that we're doing next Friday. What else have we done? We did Yankee candle sales. We've done so many different things. So like any fundraiser helps whatsoever. But just raise as much money and take it seriously, because it's your class's future with what you guys are gonna make of it.
This doesn't relate to like government or student council or anything, but just speaking as a leader of Project Hope, it's a ton of work, but as everyone else said, it's so rewarding. Just to show you how much work we've done, this past Saturday, I was here at the school from 7:30 in the morning to 11 at night, and I was glad to be here. It was so much fun. It's so rewarding, just the cause it's for, it's awesome, and just, it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it.
And for the executive committee, if you don't want to be like a president or a vice president, there's also, I think, 10 just student representatives. And I'm one of them. What we do is we just help the officers with like planning and doing fundraisers, and we go to usually monthly meetings, but now since prom is coming up soon, we're doing every other week or every week. And so it's a great way to be a leader, but not have to put in all the work if you don't have a lot of time for that, if you're doing other things.
So being a leader and a slacker at the same time. Okay, great. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Is it hard to like manage groups like Project Hope with sports?
So time management is the question. That's, how does time management happen for all of you that are involved in so much? Don't be afraid.
Alright, so being a leader of Project Hope, I was able to work around it. Usually meetings that we had were right after school, so it was like 2:15 to 2:45 maybe. And then most practices would begin at 2:45, so you'd probably be a little bit late. But if you, as long as you let your coach know beforehand, I think you'd be good.
Yeah, like you said, the meetings usually don't go too long. If they do go long, sorry, you just gotta let your coach know. But balancing it, everything, it is a lot of work, like I said before, but like, if you're really passionate about what you're doing, you make it work, and you just find time for everything.
You can go, girl. And then for exec, I know a bunch of us do a bunch of different things. So, I mean, you work with the rest of your class, or with like the rest of your exec, and we found out that the best way for us all to meet without any like distractions or interruptions would be to have 7 a.m. or 6:50 in the morning meetings. So, I mean, you just kind of have to do it if you want to continue with it.
So I'm in like a lot of honor societies. So I remember in the fall it was really stressful because there'd be 1 week where I'd have like 3 soccer games, and then I would have a math honor society meeting, a Stuco meeting, a science meeting, a Spanish meeting, and it's kind of a lot to balance it. So just make sure you don't overstress yourself. But I use my calendar a lot to like balance out everything. But like a lot of the organization leaders, like they're really easygoing. Like if you have a soccer game and it's away and you have to leave at 2, but you have a meeting, like you just have to tell them. They'll be like a little annoyed, but it's okay. They'll understand because you can always just check Google Classroom or something after, and you can like check what you missed. But it's not too hard.
Yeah, what Blake said. The advisors, they want you to be involved, so they understand that like the one club that they advise is most likely not the only one you participate in. And I mean, both parties are usually pretty understanding. Like if I have a meeting after school, maybe I have to leave 5 minutes early, or maybe I'll be 5 minutes late to practice. And also for a lot of clubs, there's like different levels of involvement based on whether you can give the time or if you are not sure how interested you are. Like in Best Buddies, you can just be a associate member where you pretty much just come to a couple meetings and go to the events. Versus if you're the president, you have to be running events, you have to go places and stuff like that. So not every single club is like a set involvement level. There's usually different tiers on how much time you want to dedicate to whatever club you want to be a part of.
Time management is definitely your friend. Like Blake said, she uses her calendar. I have had the same planner for the 4 years and everything goes in there. Just 2 weeks ago, I had a National Honor Society meeting on Wednesday at 6:45, a National Art Honor Society meeting at 6:50 on Thursday, and then a 6:50 meeting for exec on Friday. If it's easy to go home, binge watch Netflix, eat, hang out, do whatever you want, get your homework done. You don't always have to do your homework. Personally, the biggest lessons I've learned first 3 years coming up through high school, I was like, gotta get it done, let's do it. And it's important to do that, but also to take time for yourself and go out with your friends once in a while. Go to the Milk Friends show, go to the volleyball game and see your friends play, stuff like that. Time management is your friend in high school, and you'll definitely, if you don't have that skill now, it's definitely something you're gonna wanna utilize.
Anyone have a good app they use? Anyone? Good app for time management? No? Just your calendar on your phone?
There's a ton of different apps that you can use. I have one that lets me put in like all of my homework assignments, and then it lets me alert myself like the night before it's due, because with block scheduling, that was a huge difference in figuring out like when you're gonna do your homework, and you just have to figure out something that works for you.
All right.
Yeah, and Google
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Your show.
Okay. Google Classroom and PowerSchool are basically my religion. I check them always, and without them, I'm pretty sure I would be failing every single class that I have. So download those immediately and constantly look at them.
All right. Any other questions as we're wrapping up here? Go ahead.
So you talked a lot about like student government and like how there are various clubs and stuff, but you never really got into specifics of what clubs there are for different people with different interests. So what are different clubs that people can get involved in?
What are you interested in?
Well, I'm personally interested in like music, theater, and stuff like that, but none of you are really involved in that, but I'm not saying that's your fault.
Our music person's sick today, so that didn't work out in your favor.
There's like Triam, which I think is another honor society, right? Yeah, that's music. There's theater groups, there's the plays.
Milkmen.
Yeah, Milkmen, guys. They're
What's
just
a list
fun.
of that? Is there a list probably on the website? Online? Yeah, okay. So there is a list for that, and our music guide was thrown out, but I didn't want him to come unless.
I can kind of talk about that.
All right, go ahead.
If you're interested in like plays and stuff, the plays that they do, have, I guess, they're really awesome. Although I was only in one, it was really, really fun. I didn't really have the time to do it the rest of my time here at Timberlane, which is almost called the Pinkerton. So if you want to be involved in that, definitely just throw yourself out there. It's really awesome. There's also, what was the music? You guys said try right? Yeah, that's about all I have. So.
And if there's a list on the website, and so when you come up, they'll give you a whole list too. But if there's something that you're passionate about and it's not a club here or anything like that, Cam and I, and also Brianna, we started a club this year. It's called Students for Support, and it's really important to us. It's something we're passionate about. We worked with the school to plan the walkout, and we're going to be doing events like that in the future. So if there's something that you're passionate about and you want to get done, just make it happen. They'll work with you. Obviously, there's boundaries. The school's hands are tied in some stuff, but they'll work with you, and anything you're passionate about, do it. It's really important.
So for music, Mr. C's awesome. So I've never taken any music whatsoever. I'm not musically inclined whatsoever. But I was convinced to take an improv class, and that was the best class I took all year this year. It's so much fun. So like even if you're not musically inclined, definitely take improv. But there's also like intro to theater. If you're not sure if you like theater, there's 24-hour plays. But then there's also so many like music instructors that you can start anything that you possibly want. I know there's like jazz band, there's so many different types of bands and orchestras that you can join, and choirs, like select different bunch of different stuff that like I know my sister and a bunch of other people are involved with, but there's so much you can possibly do, and the pack's awesome.
All right, so I know we threw a lot at you here in this hour. Let's give them one more round of applause for taking the time. If there are questions as you leave here today, or come up, make sure you see Mr. Mensis or myself. We can help guide you in that direction. As of right now, I want you all to stay seated, and then we're going to end it, and we're going to do our own class meeting here while we're all involved. So thanks again, guys. We appreciate it.